plus Life from the Loam combo to just explode out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Jeff Hoogland, not afraid of exploding himself, drops a Mox Diamond into a Burning Wish for Life from the Loam.
Yeah, so while Cody has Intuition to search for his Life from the Loam, Jeff has Burning Wish. So both players, similar strategies, different approaches. Both run the Punishing Fire combo. Intuition gives a little more flexibility there because Cody can Intuition for Life from the Loam, Punishing Fire, and one of the lands, the Grove of the Burn Willows, which will allow him to get back that Punishing Fire. So it's kind of an all-in-one package.
We see the Mana Bond we talked about earlier. Mana Bond allows you to play as many lands into play as you want, but if you do, you have to discard the rest of your hand.
Yes. So very good with Life from the Loam, but not so good when you don't have one.
Let's do a little bit of reading. Check out that Mana Bond.
Yeah, we'll bring that up on the screen for you. Old school card, not played too heavily these days, but pretty good in a deck like this because you can just, like you said, explode lands on the table.
We see a Chalice for 1, and he's trying to stop cards like Exploration. The Mana Bond is already in play, and that's problematic, but, you know, it doesn't mean that you can't have the other good 1-drop spell.
Yeah, so Jeff thinks that Mox Diamond got out to a really good start. He's able to jump the curve a little bit on Cody, and he's able to get his Life from the Loam engine going first.
And he lays a Wasteland to knock out the Tropical Island for Cody Sweeney. Cody here, he's got a lot of options.
Looks like he's got a Mox Diamond of his own there. It looks like he also has a lot of altars, so it's difficult to tell what they actually are.
Wasteland's the Bayou of Jeff Hoogland. Says go.
Pass, wow. So Jeff does have a Life from the Loam.
This is painful. Boom.
And you get back that Wasteland. And just pass the turn back.
Cody draws Intuition.
There is that Intuition.
Lays
Tolaria Academy, Tolaria West.
Okay. Your ability to see through that glare is awesome.
Yes. So Tolaria West, you know, very good at searching for lands along with Mox Diamonds or Azuran Orb, but a little bit of Wasteland locked right here on the Hoogland side.
Cody Sweeney right now, he's having those Wastelands hit, but the Azuran Orb is effectively giving him a life buffer while all of this happens. And Jeff, meanwhile, while he can Wasteland every turn, he's not developing his own mana while that happens.
Yes, he's basically forced to keep dredging back that Life from the Loam every other turn to get back those Wastelands, but might want to wait a turn, try to develop his board, but no, it looks like he's going to continue just to Wasteland.
Gains 2 life. Cody Sweeney playing about 90 net lands in his 60-card deck here. He can probably drop a land every turn.
Yeah, he's got, you know, almost 20, I think, yeah. Oh, along with the Rashad Imports and the Maze Abyss and the Wastelands and the Ghost Quarters. Yeah, he's got close to 30 lands in his deck, so looks like we're going to have a Punishing Fire from Jeff here. Start to put a little pressure on
Throws that into the mix.
But again, like you said, the Azuran Orb is giving Cody a little bit of life buffer.
We see dredging once again. Life from the Loam. Both of these players running Loam engines in their deck. We see it happen once again. Cody gives the, yep, come here. Show me what you got.
Double Wasteland now. So it looks like Cody's hand is Engineer Explosive. He's got that Maze of It in play, which Jeff doesn't even really need to Wasteland. It's not very effective right now. As long as if he can't tap mana, I don't think Jeff cares about it right now.
Yeah, and Jeff does not care about it. He instead lays a Wooded Foothills, discards his own Maze of Ith. A second Maze of Ith from Cody Sweeney.
So he has that Intuition. It looks like he might have a Mox Diamond.
A second Maze of Ith hits the table.
Yeah.
And just looking through his list, I'm checking for an Urborg.
No.
He does not have an Urborg to turn those Maze of Iths into mana producers.
Unfortunately, no. But, you know, he does have that Intuition in his hand. If he can somehow just get that Life from the Loam going.
And a Dryad Arbor fetched by Jeff Hoogland from the Wooded Foothills, giving him a little bit more damage. It's a trickle of damage, and Maze of Ith will, of course, be able to stop that.
Yes. So Cody, while it doesn't look great for Cody right now, he's still not in the worst shape, simply because that Mana Bond will allow him to put a lot of lands into play if he can ever just get that Life from the Loam going.
And Jeff wastes one of those Maze of Iths. Cody gains 2 more life.
Looks like he's a Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale in his hand. That is yep.
Maze.
Do not even think about it.
Have some mana back, sir.
So yep, there's a life from them. Get back those.
Just one wasteland.
So all land in Jeff's hand right now. Is that oh? There's the life from the loam.
Now, if he can just get the mana to be able to use it.
If he can get, it looks like he's been slow rolling a Mox Diamond. I can't tell for certain, but
I think it might be an engineered explosives.
I know he has. He definitely has an engineered explosive. Definitely has a Tabernacle Pendrel Veil. So Mox Diamond is pretty much the only way he's going to be able to get 2 mana in play to actually cast the life from the loam under this Wasteland lock. So.
Jeff Hoogland draws his own second Mox Diamond here. Wasteland hits Mazavith. Jeff can now get in for 1.
It looks like Jeff also has a Nantuko Monastery, which is somewhat of a heavy hitter. Looks like that could be coming into play at some point. Or yep, Mox Diamond. Discard a land here.
Yeah, these altars are making it very hard.
These altars are making it really tough to find. Looks like there's a Tranquil Thicket. And is
that a Darksteel Citadel?
It's a Glacial Chasm.
Oh, Glacial. I can't tell.
Yeah. Honestly, those it looks like he has a hand full of alternate art cards.
Not even alternate art, like altars, right? Like those.
Literally altered cards. So yeah, it looks like there's a Glacial Chasm in there.
From the vault, Glacial Chasm. Tranquil Thicket being used to draw a card by Jeff Hoogland. I see a Nantuko Monastery in his hand. Tax for 1. Cody Sweeney now down to 28, I believe.
And here comes that Nantuko Monastery.
And 2 mana, another loam. Oh, Bob, Dark Confidant, who just made a reappearance this weekend, showing his face at the Pro Tour.
Yes, and I think he had a decent finish there. So Cody Sweeney he has that life for loam, but oh, there's the Mox Diamond.
Boom, does this work? It does. There's tossing.
Discards a Glacial Chasm. Wow, no second mana.
I hope that nothing happens to that Mox Diamond.
There's a burning wish. So yes, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Burning Wish for a Shattering Spree or a Maelstrom Pulse to deal with that Mox Diamond. Probably a Shattering Spree.
Yeah, I don't know about dropping that Mox Diamond if you're not going to use it.
Yeah, you kind of have to slow roll it.
You've got so much life, you can wait.
Yeah, there's no reason to put it out there. I actually thought he was slow rolling Mox Diamond this whole time. Obviously, you have to be concerned with Burning Wish for a removal spell or even an Abrupt Decay. It's so important for you to get that Life from the Loam to resolve. Basically, that's what your deck is. You just need to resolve Life from the Loam.
We're going to see the Burning Wish probably getting Shattering Spree here. Shattering Spree will break that Mox and break that Zernarb. Now, know that there's a Chalice of the Void in play, but I believe that you can push through the Chalice with the extra copies that you create. The original Shattering Spree, I believe, will get countered, and I think the others will go through it. I'm not 100% sure of that. We'll have to ask a judge for clarification, because remember, there is a Chalice of the Void in play.
The replicate copies, that is, yes. So it looks like Jeff is going to... is he going to attack first, or we're going to cast? He's going to actually try to replicate here.
Yeah, replicate does push through a Chalice of the Void. Now the question is,
although it doesn't look like he realizes that because he's only activating it twice.
Initial target. Oh boy, I think he did it the wrong declaration.
So it looks like he didn't want to actually go after Zernarb. All right. So there we have a Cycle Tranquil Thicket from Cody.
Another Life from the Loam, I believe.
Either way, the damage was done. He just needed to deal with that Mox Diamond.
Yeah, it looks like he double targeted the Chalice.
Oh, wow.
And there we go.
Once the mana bond is gone, there's really no reason for Cody to keep playing this game.
Okay, we go to the sideboards. Cody Sweeney, his sideboard, we see 4 Dark Confidant as a basically ability to charge his deck up against decks that might try to grind him out. He's got a Tormod Script in his board, which is a potentially effective card against an opposing Life from the Loam deck. Trinisphere is a card I actually really like in his deck for this matchup. And 3 Abrupt Decays of his own, which potentially could come in to kill a Dark Confidant or the Knight of the Reliquary, which he has to expect. But obviously he's got a ton of spells here that could come in. The ones I particularly like are the 1 Crypt and the 4 Dark Confidants.
Yeah, and on Jeff's side of the board, again, he is a Burning Wish deck, so a lot of his sideboard is devoted to Burning Wish targets. He does have a copy of Bojuka Bog, which can come in. He can search for it using a Knight of the Reliquary, which is obviously good against the Life and Limb strategy. He has another copy of Abrupt Decay, which could come in, knowing the fact that Mana Bond and Exploration are cards that are sort of centerpieces for Cody's deck. He might bring in the extra Abrupt Decay. He also has one copy of Gaddock, which isn't particularly good against a Punishing Fire deck, along with 3 copies of Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. So, not sure you want to bring in Thalia or Gaddock just because, your opponent is playing Punishing Fire, has plenty of mana where it's not going to be that much of an impact. Those cards are really more for combo matches.
The cards I do like him bringing in is 1 Bojuka Bog and 1 Abrupt Decay.
Yep.
The Abrupt Decay to kill the very, very frightening Mana Bond in Cody Sweeney's deck, as well as potentially kill an Intuition if there is no Mana Bond. And then the Bojuka Bog as a means for the Knight of the Reliquary to nuke a graveyard.
Definitely, yeah. So if I was Jeff, I'd see the Gaddock in your main deck probably isn't doing too much for you. And I think you can afford to board out one of your Punishing Fires. So let's see. In game 1, it all came down to Jeff having access to Life and Loam before Cody. And again, both players have ways to search for that Life and Loam. So let's see if Cody can actually find his this game, because even though things were looking bad for him early, if he was ever able to cast a Life and Loam because of that Mana Bond, he would have been in a pretty good position. So let's see if Cody's deck can actually get something going in game 2.
I actually think if he had been able to get to Life from the Loam mana, I think that there's nothing that Jeff could have done game 1 to be able to recover. I mean, other than immediately get rid of that Mana Bond.
Yeah, he ended up drawing an Abrupt Decay, so he would have been able to deal with eventually deal with the Mana Bond. However, depending on when he actually drew it, Cody could have had a lot of lands in play in kind of a critical mass of lands. So, interesting to see. I don't know. Jeff has a lot more action than Cody does. Knight of the Reliquary is obviously very, very big in this matchup. Cody doesn't really have a good answer to it, and being able to search for a card like Bojuka Bog at instant speed is really important. So let's see if I don't know. Cody's deck seems like it's reasonable against certain decks. Like it's definitely good against the fair decks. But Jeff looks like he's a little bit better suited for the meter. Because it looks like Cody only has one Tormod's Crypt as graveyard removal effectively, which isn't really going to get the job done. He can't even search for it.
One of the best choices he has is to try to recur it with Academy Ruins, and but the path to finding it is long and hard, requiring Intuition to start and then an Academy Ruins to finish.
Well, it's if he has an Intuition, he can go Intuition for Academy Ruins, Life and Limb, and Tormod's Crypt.
Yep.
And eventually he will get there.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah. So there's a Zuranorb. And Exploration.
Boom.
So pretty good start from Cody there.
Sitting pretty.
What he was hoping for. Although it looks like Jeff does have a turn 1 Burning Wish if he chooses. So again, he will be able to find his Life and Loam this game. But it looks like he has a Life and Loam already.
Does he also have a Mox?
It looks like he has a Mox Diamond,
man.
land, and a Dark Confidant along with the Chalice of the Void. So very, very good opener here for Jeff.
I mean, I wouldn't mind dropping a turn 1 Dark Confidant.
Oh yeah, definitely. Very good in this matchup. Cody doesn't have a lot of answers to it, and it's the kind of card to manage that. Very important in this kind of matchup.
There's Bob the Dark Confidant. Greatness at any cost.
So
Rishadan Port.
Looks like Cody does have. Oh, Cody has a Intuition along with a Punishing Fire. Does he have red mana though to actually cast it? Doesn't look like he has any red mana, so. A little unfortunate for Cody there. He doesn't have a way to deal with the Dark Confidant this turn, although he does have the Intuition, so he will be able to get some lands out of his deck. And he has the Life from Loam, so he can get the Academy Ruins as well.
Intuition. Remember, he can play 1 additional land this turn. He's only played 1.
So I'd expect maybe Wasteland, Academy Ruins, and Tormod's Crypt, perhaps? Let's see what he goes for. Maybe he wants Tranquil Thicket as a way to kind of draw cards with Life from Loam. Again, we know he has the Life from Loam in his hand already. He has a Wasteland in his hand, so he can go after the Tiger right here. So let's see. Rishadan Port. So it looks like a Taiga. He looks like he's going for a red mana so he can cast the Punishing Fire. We're over the Burn Willows. Oh, and Tranquil Thicket. Surprised he doesn't want to go for the Academy runes here. So, and there's a Tranquil Thicket. So it looks like it might be Tranquil Thicket, and Taiga. I'd expect Jeff to give him the Tranquil Thicket right here.
Just on the hope that Cody doesn't have the Life from the Loam yet. But since he didn't search for a Life from the Loam...
Wow, so he actually gives him the Taiga, surprising here. Gives him the red mana, but... Wow, and Cody plays it.
We see a land revealed by the Dark Confidant.
Surprised he played the Taiga and not the Wasteland. I'm sorry. Maybe I don't think he had the Wasteland in his hand.
Yeah, the Wasteland is in play unless there's another one in his hand.
So Jeff reveals a land. I think he has 2 lands this turn. Punishing Fire. He does have the Life Realm and long to go with the Chalice of the Void.
In for 2.
Chalice of the Void for 2 would, I guess, it wouldn't be that bad in this situation, but don't really think you can afford to do that. We have a Burning Wish.
Burning Wish. He might get Reverent Silence.
Reverent Silence, perhaps Thought Seize. Let's see what he gets here.
Reverent Silence.
Reverent Silence. So wants to get rid of that exploration. Cody Sweeney is going to gain some life here so that Jeff can cast the Reverend Silence for free.
Cody Sweeney draws.
So, looks to be another altered card. So, we're going to get a Punishing Fire here.
And you see Cody Sweeney going into his sideboard right now, mid-game. A while back, you were allowed... Oh, changing a sleeve. You were allowed to start looking through your sideboard without having a card actually targeting it.
So I kind of like, oh, he's going to punish on here first. I kind of like wastelanding the Taiga, using the Tropical Island and the Rashardin Port to get back your wasteland, and then casting it and then punishing fire.
Is that a Ghost Quarter that he laid, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like it's a Ghost Quarter.
Or maybe. He gets back 2...
So, yeah, he gets back 2 Tranquil Thickets. So, if he wastelands first, he's able to wasteland this turn and then still replay a land.
And get 3 cards back.
And cast the Punishing Fire and get 3 cards back instead of just 2. So, maybe a little loose there on the resource management. But either way, he dealt with the Dark Confidant, which was the card that he's probably most scared of right now.
And I can't tell what that untapped land is in Cody Sweeney's graveyard, or in play. But if it's not a green source, this is an opportunity for Jeff Hoogland to potentially be able to nuke the Life from the Loam from the graveyard, should he have a Bojuka Bog in his hand. Obviously, there's only 1 of those in his deck, but there's a small window where he can interrupt the Life from the Loam being useful. Yeah, because that Tranquil Thicket allows him to cycle in response to any sort of graveyard removal that Jeff might have. So, but if it is a Ghost Quarter, he can target one of his lands to get a. I'm not sure if he has a basic. He does have one basic forest to get, so he does have some outs to that. Looks like Jeff has the. He does have the Life from Loam. He doesn't have a Wasteland though to get some Wasteland recursion going. But it looks like we're gonna Chalice for 2, perhaps. Yes, it looks like that's what we're gonna see. He wants to shut. He's like, if I can't have Life from Loam recursion, you certainly can. And you know, it is much more devastating against Cody's deck than it is against Jeff's deck, because Jeff has, Jeff obviously can't cast the Life from Loam or the Punishing Fire, but he still has cards like Night of the Reliquary, which can win him the game. And it was Ghost Quarter. Mm-hmm. And we have Tranquil Thicket, and a secret card that Cody has drawn and put directly into his hand. Engineered Explosives. Oh, wow. For 0 would be okay. So that's a pretty good draw there. Jeez. Okay. He would lose his own Zuran Orb, which I do not believe he would care about. Yeah, I think he's okay with that. So let's start the pain. Take care of that land. We're just gonna pass. Doesn't want to expose it. Although you would destroy the Mox Diamond as well. So yes. I'm surprised he didn't. And he taps the land there, the Taiga.
And we're just going to get a pass back, and we're going to get a cycle here. Draw a card.
Oh, tapping, pardon me, the Dryad Arbor, my bad. Punishing Fire,
wow.
that kills the Dryad Arbor.
Well, no, he can't cast it yet because of the Chalice of the Void. So
oh, good point, good
he
point.
really needs to play the Engineered Explosives. I'm surprised he's not pulling the trigger on the Engineered Explosives just yet.
I wonder if he's trying to get another Mox? Like, seems a little greedy.
I personally would much rather start recurring my Life from the Loam
Absolutely.
and destroy both a Dryad Arbor and a Mox Diamond out of my opponent's
I mean,
side.
I would also like to start recurring the Life from Loam as soon as possible.
Not because you have Wasteland recursion. Like, I don't know what he's waiting for exactly. So we're going to get a sack Windswept Teeth here. Let's see what he goes for. Maybe is he deciding to pull the trigger on the Engineered Explosives? Are we sure he has it? He does have an Engineered Explosives.
It looked like it. It looked like one to me. I mean, maybe we're misseeing it. He has a ton of altars. So
so searching for a land here. Let's see. He's going to get a Bayou there. Okay.
that Bayou looks like it's seen some days.
I think it's another altar.
Yeah.
Apparently Cody is an artist. So there's the
there
Engineered
it
Explosives.
is. I'm not sure what's on it, but
Engineered Explosives for 0 comes down, and he just passes. Wow. And I could understand being afraid of allowing Jeff to start casting Life from Loam, but you're so far ahead, you know?
yeah, and Cody's lives are better than Jeff's lives.
Yeah, you can. you have Rashad Import. You have a Punishing Fire to deal with the Dryad Arbor. You have a Rashad Import to deal with one of his lands. You have a Wasteland to deal with another, and you'd be dealing with a Mox Diamond. So you'd be effectively just annihilating Jeff's side of the board here.
And you see a Burning Wish has been drawn by Jeff Hoogland. He can't cast it right now, but
so okay. So here comes Dryad Arbor. He's going to take one. I really hope Cody activates the Engineered Explosive at the end of the turn.
do it.
I know you want to cast Intuition, but all right. So here comes Intuition here.
Okay, what are you gonna get, Cody?
So we have a Grove of the Burn Willows, a Wasteland, and Academy Ruins. I hope he goes for the Academy Ruins. It looks like he might go for the Academy Ruins Tormod's Crypt combo now. I think you really want to get that Tormod's Crypt. You can go for Teleria West, and yeah, there it is.
There we go.
So that the Teleria West will allow him to search for the Tormod's Crypt.
Two mana left afterwards. He's
decides to untap. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. You put them in the right spot. You don't get to put them in your hand.
So dangerous spot for Cody. He can't afford to tap out with the Engineered Explosives in play because Jeff does have an Abrupt Decay. So you don't want to lose that Engineered Explosive just yet, even though you have an Academy Ruin. You want to make sure you get to use it. So let's activate that Engineered Explosives and start going to town. Alright, so he taps his Rashad Import, activates it. Mox Diamond is going to get tapped for mana. There goes the... We're going to get a activate Life in the Loam get cast.
There's the Loam.
Yeah, and it's kind of unfortunate because because he didn't do it at the end of the turn, he's not able to both Wasteland and Punishing Fire the Dryad Arbor.
Yep.
And he's also not able to search for a Teleria West, so Jeff will get an activation of Life from Loam. So Jeff will have 2 mana that he can cast the Life from Loam's turn. If Cody did it at the end of Jeff's turn, he couldn't cast Burning Wish, he couldn't cast Life from Loam, and he couldn't cast Sylvan Library.
Sylvan Pass, and we're going to see Cody can punish Waste this turn.
Yeah, so still pretty good turn for Cody. He's going to be able to get search for a Tormod's Crypt as well. So, Life from Loam. Get the Tulare West double Wasteland. Wasteland comes down, Punishing Fire, your Dryad Arbor. Pretty good position for Cody right here. He has to be conscious of time, though, because there are only 24 minutes left in the round for him. And his deck doesn't win very quickly, and they're in game 2. So even if he wins this game, there is a strong potential they will draw.
You see Jeff Hoogland using the Sylvan Library to select from 3 cards. Life can be a resource here. Spending 4 life to get an extra card is not unreasonable. Even spending 8 life and just going Necro Hut, get 2 cards.
And
boom!
I know that I said yesterday you should never concede. However, there is a caveat. If you are in pretty good shape that you're probably not going to win the game, I think it's worth conceding simply because you are going to go to time and you're going to end up drawing, and you don't want to be 4-0-1 and going into round 6 of an 8-round tournament.
Jeff Hoogland casts Life from the Loam off of the Mox Diamond, gets 3 land in his hand.
I think, again, Jeff might not be out of it just yet, but it's pretty close.
We see a Creeping Tar Pit revealed, a finisher.
I think once Jeff sees the Tormod's Crypt and the Academy Runes, he might just concede. We're going to get it. I prefer a Wasteland here. You don't want to think about it. Think about it, Cody. All right, there he goes. No, think about it. Think about it, Cody. And let's see the Wasteland. All right, so Academy Runes comes down, and so he could search for Tormod's Crypt. And oh wow, does he not have the? So I know he doesn't have double blue, but doesn't he have So it looks like he doesn't have double blue to actually transmute the artifact, to transmute the Tulare West.
And we see Jeff here. Apparently one of his sleeves is too damaged, so he's replacing that sleeve. Activating Sylvan Library, looking at 3 cards.
Yeah, and it's strange, because if he doesn't have double blue, he could have gotten back the Creeping Tar Pit.
I think there's a Devastating Dreams in that pile of cards. I think Jeff might just suck up some pain, get in a big enough hand to nuke the entire table, and reset it with him having Sylvan Mox.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see what happens.
Well, looks like we're going to play a land here, Devastating Dreams, for...
Yeah, boom. This is a random discard. He's like, you know what? Random all of my hand.
Yeah, so we're going to discard 6 cards here. And, yep, we're going to cycle some. We got Tranquil Thicket. Punishing Fire can come back. You could put the Mox Diamond on top of your library. Yep,
there it is, Mox Diamond on top.
So, Cody, I still think Cody's in good shape here.
Yeah, Cody's definitely in good shape.
We have Mox Diamond, Life from Loam. Granted, Jeff does have Sylvan Library, Mox Diamond, but he has no cards left in his hand. And he's at 10. It's not like he's going to be able to be drawing 2 extra cards each turn for forever.
And there you see Jeff right here just needs a single land, which I believe is on top of his library, to be able to activate the Loam and get some value. And he's going to pay 4 for the pleasure of this extra card.
So let's see here.
He's doing a replacement effect on the second draw from his turn.
Wasteland, Wooded Foothills.
Puts 1 back, goes to 6. Plays Wasteland, Life from the Loam. Gets back 3 cards.
So next turn, Cody could potentially transmute that Tulare West for a Tormod's Crypt to stop these Life from the Loam shenanigans, but Jeff already has 3 lands in his hand. But, you know, Cody's got that Punishing Fire, and with Jeff at 6, he might be thinking just go for the combo right here. But, you know, Jeff has a Wasteland for the Grove of the Burn Willows, but... yeah, this is... I do not like how Cody is playing this game. I think you have to keep attacking Jeff's mana. You have to play that Wasteland, go after the wasteland of, especially when Jeff's tapped. And yeah, because he's going to go after your punishing fire combo. Wow, double wasteland here.
Jeff Hoogland says go.
So Jeff drops to 4 from the punishing fire. Oh wow, is that a mana bond?
Oh, doctor.
Hello.
Boom. That's the lights.
Right back on top of things.
End of turn. Boom.
So Cody in firm grasp of this game right now.
Right now would be the moment. Actually, Jeff Hoogland, he can think about the clock as a resource. He doesn't have to play slowly because, you don't. It's not ethical to slow roll your gameplay.
But it doesn't. Cody has the punishing fire in his graveyard though, and the life from them. So
that's not what I'm getting at.
Cody could, with Jeff only at 6, Cody should be able to win this game within 18 minutes.
Yeah, that's not the question I'm making, actually. Is that Jeff can make Cody eat up 2 or 3 minutes with the idea that Cody might not be able to win in 15 minutes for the next game, whereas Jeff can probably win in 15 minutes for the next game.
Oh, I agree. I'd be wary of how much time you really want to burn off here, though, because I think it's difficult for either player to really win quickly. I think, 15 minutes is not a lot of time for these decks to win.
This is true.
So, that's kind of why I thought Jeff might just consider conceding and going to the next game, because I think they're already at the point now where Game 3, there's a strong potential that they'll draw.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Jeff is thinking about this clock resource management and that's why he's doing this, or if he's not thinking about it at all.
Mm-hmm. So, Jeff gets... Cody dumps his hand onto the board once again, and now he has the Grove of the Burn rules back in play, so he can activate it to give Jeff a life and get back that punishing fire in his graveyard.
Jeff fetches, dropping to a precarious 1 less life.
I think Cody might have multiple punishing fires in his graveyard. I'm not really sure. I know he used one early on for Dark Confidant. I'm not sure if he got it back, but...
See the Sylvan. Green Sun Zenith lands, or is that Green Sun Zenith land Chalice? Scoops it up.
And he finally
to the next.
So Jeff Hoogland couldn't overcome Mana Bond, and Cody Sweeney ties up this match 1-1.
If you're just joining us, Osip and I are watching the 5th round of this Legacy event. We have already seen every match has been a different archetype so far today. And I expect that this is going to be a trend that is likely to continue in this round, the remaining 3 rounds after this round.
Yeah, unless we start seeing Tezzeret mirrors, which it's certainly a possibility given the success that Van Meter and Anderson are having today.
Yeah. Now, one of the things about local metagames, it's absolutely true that local metagames in Standard are often a thing. So, for example, we talked about earlier, Nashville apparently is a very aggressive metagame when it comes to the typical metagames of Constructed. Legacy is its own animal, though. A lot of people in Legacy, what happens is they find a deck they like, and they just play it the rest of their lives. I have a feeling that it's possible Cody Sweeney, if you saw those altars, I bet you Cody has been playing lands for a while.
Yeah, and it's also one of those formats where it's somewhat restrictive in terms of card availability. So, there's only so many duels that some people, the average player, might have. So, if there's a deck that you particularly really like, you kind of spend your money to acquire that deck, and then you just sort of add to it and you adjust it over time. But generally, people who want to kind of get into Legacy, they have to make a decision. What's the type of deck that I'm willing to play? Because I'm probably going to have to play for it for a while, because not many people can just pick and choose between what type of Legacy deck they want to play.
I mean, not everyone is Dave Williams,
yes,
right? I'm going to play some Vintage. How about I go buy some cards?
Yeah.
That was great. I'll sell them back.
Yeah. Not everyone's straight balling in Legacy. But, from Cody's, the cards in Cody's deck, it definitely looks like, he's been playing this deck a long time. He has it pimped out with all the different altars. So, very familiar with this archetype, I'm sure.
Now, if you are a fan of lands, I mean, this deck has been around for a very long time. The first time I remember seeing it played, though, was by Rashad Miller, one of my favorite Magic players. And I know that a lot of people think of Rashad as an all-in red player from not so far back. But He's also been a big fan of Llanowar, and he's also been a big fan of Mazavith.
So, Jeff Hoogland has a turn 1 Wooded Foothills. No Mox Diamond this game, but on Cody's side of the board, he does have that intuition. Looks like he also has a Mox Diamond. Do we have, discards a Rashad Import.
Life from the Loam.
Life from the Loam. Looks like he also has an Exploration, too.
Yikes. Jeff's turn.
So really good hand for Cody.
Chalice.
Jeff's hand, he's got a Punishing Fire, a Chalice of the Void, and a Burning Wish to go along with the handful of lands. Let's see, does he want a Burning Wish here? Not really sure how effective that's going to be. He can Burning Wish for the Life from the Loam to get that engine started. Doesn't have a Wasteland though to really get a Wasteland lock going though. So we're going to get a sack of the Wooded Foothills to get either Bayou, Taiga. What are we going to get? Plateau, it looks like. So Wooded Foothills get sacked to get a Plateau. And I'd venture to guess he's probably going to cast Burning Wish for Life in the Loam. Try to get that engine going. And, yep, he's thinking about it. And there's the Badlands. And, oh, no, Chalice for 1, it looks like. So interesting here. What I guess he wants to stop the Mana Bond and the Exploration.
Yep.
Which is kind of convenient because Cody does in fact have an Exploration in his hand. However, he also has an Intuition, and Intuition is really the engine in his deck. It gets him all the lands that he wants to start Life from Lowering back and recurring. So, kind of annoying. Chalice for 1 kind of slows him down a little bit. So definitely a reasonable play on Jeff's side, but it's not going to be a game breaker or anything.
Cody lays the 3rd mana. He'll be able to Intuition at the end of Jeff's turn. Jeff lays 3 mana. Are we going to see Knight of the Reliquary?
Yes, we are.
There
wow.
it is.
Knight of the Reliquary, very important card in this matchup. Allows Jeff to search for a Bajuka Bog to break up that Life from the Loam combo.
We see Abrupt Decay in Cody Sweeney's hand.
Yeah, I think he realizes he needs to deal with that Knight of the Reliquary. That just he can't let it get online.
Now he has 3 Abrupt Decays in his sideboard. Also 1 Cursed Totem, which would deal with the Knight of the Reliquary's activated ability, but he would have had to have sideboarded it in.
So it looks like he doesn't have all the copies of Abrupt Decay. Oh, there's at least 2.
Glare, something. Is that Abrupt, and then, is that Cursed Totem?
It might be Cursed Totem.
I can't...
Which Jeff has an answer to in his deck in Abrupt Decay. He doesn't have it now, but at least he does have it. Oh, it looks like it's a Tormod's Crypt.
Tormod's Crypt, okay.
Okay. So, even better here, Jeff gives him the Tormod's Crypt, not aware that Cody has a Punishing Fire. So he can Punishing Fire the Knight of the Reliquary and then get rid of Jeff's Graveyard with Tormod's Crypt, making Knight of the Reliquary just a 2/2, dying to the Punishing Fire.
Very aggressive. Gets rid of the Knight.
And pretty good turn for Cody. He gets rid of 2 lands in Jeff's Graveyard, uses a Wasteland, and deals with the Knight of the Reliquary. So Jeff draws a card for the turn. Oh, another Burning Wish. So we have a Wasteland, an Nantuko Monastery, double Burning Wish, and a Punishing Fire in Jeff's hand. Might we just get I think we might get a Burning Wish for a Life from Loam and then a Wasteland.
You Wastelands the Rishadan Port, and then perhaps the Burning Wish for Loam?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a Life from Loam here.
There it is.
And there it is. So Cody untaps with a Tropical Island and a Mox Diamond in play. He does decide to dredge back that Life from Loam.
Ensnaring Bridge, Mana Bond, and I think it was Abrupt Decay.
Yeah. So let's see, we're going to get back a Wasteland perhaps, go after that Badlands. And yes, we are. Life from Loam gets back a Rashad Port and a Wasteland. And Wasteland is going to target a Badlands here.
I mean, these two players, they're just grinding at each other and hoping that they managed to get something like a Tranquil Thicket to be able to push through. Jeff has that card. 2 land back to Jeff's grip. Cody draws off the top.
Just a Tropical Island for Cody. Decided not to dredge back the Life from the Loam here. He's just going to pass with a Rashad Important play.
Upkeep taps the Forest.
So, little awkward spot, and like I said, you know, it's these situations that makes it difficult for these decks to win in the kind of amount of time that they have left, because it's just a lot of back and forth, mana denial, resource manipulation, trying to get the better of the opponent. Neither player. It's going to take It's going to take a while for either player to kind of break serve here.
And a quick check with our director. The time we see listed there is correct, so that is an accurate representation of how much time is left in this match. Life from the Loam is dredged and then cast. Windswept Heath, Wasteland.
And that is it.
Is that all? Yeah, that's all.
So it looks like there's going to be 1 minute added in time for the extension.
And oftentimes in our feature matches, we end up adding time because of the simple amount of time that takes up for them to get over there, to wait for the cameras to be ready for them.
Yep.
2 mana available from Jeff Hoogland. He lays Sylvan Library, I believe. There it is, Sylvan Library, along with 1 more mana for 4 total mana in play. And we see Cody once again dredging. Looks like
there's
2
a Tranquil Thicket. A Tranquil Thicket, Wooded Foothills.
Whoa, and then he drew a card. Okay.
A little too quick on the pace there. He's probably trying to play a little too fast.
Jeff's like, hey buddy, what's the what?
Yeah, I think the rule is you either put the card back on top of your library or you just reshuffle the deck. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Now, no matter what happens, it's certainly going to be something that is going to be checked with. Let's say, for example, that Cody Sweeney has warnings for having done this before. That could really, in this tournament, that could really bite him now. But clearly not something he intended to do. As soon as it happened, you could tell by his body language. He was like,
Yeah. Is that really the name of Cody Sweeney's deck, Lands?
Yeah.
That's it? That's the best we can come up with?
Well, it used to be called 43 lands, and then it got called other numbers of lands until finally, because the number of lands kept altering, lands. That's what we got.
All right. So Judge comes over to confirm what actually happened. And yeah, in general, I think this is just a warning. If Cody does have another warning on his record for this tournament, it will be upgraded to a game lost. So let's see what the ruling is. Looks like, and again, it was unintentional. It was fairly obvious what he was intending to do, and I don't think it was.
Oh wow!
So it looks like it was maybe he did.
Drawing
have
extra cards, I believe, is what that's going to be ruled as. And drawing extra cards, it is at times possible that a game loss will be awarded for that.
Oh wow! Okay. So Cody Sweeney, unfortunate for him, he playing maybe a little too fast that game, but ends up losing the match 2-1.
One of the things, when you have a deck like Life from the Loam oriented decks,